Bonjour Charlie.
Bonjour.
Like a hobo from a broken home, nothing's gonna stop me. Like a hobo from a broken home, nothing's gonna stop me.
What I'm singing about in my songs is very much, and what my music is about, is very much, I hope, about what's going on around us and around me. And I'm just trying to keep my eyes open as much as possible and not be too much within one thing, so I can take a step away from it and look at it and then talk about it. And so maybe that resonates with people.
I've always known since I was a young boy, in this world, everything was good as bad.
For me, the whole point of the Like a Hobo, the song Like a Hobo, was really just saying, it was taking on the kind of romantic idea of the hobo, be it a traveller or be it someone who's looking for work or someone who's, you know, free. But the notion of a hobo, for me, was someone who's taking their life into their own hands. And that's what my song is about. It's about taking my life into my own hands by sticking to the things which I believe are kind of real, you know?
Like a hobo from a broken home, nothing's gonna stop me. Like a hobo from a broken home, nothing's gonna stop me.
You know, like my song Boxes, I say I don't really want to be put into any boxes or labelled or anything, because my interests are so big, and I think, you know, I think maybe this is what resonates with a lot of people as well when they listen to my music, is that they see that it's not just one thing, and people can relate to that, because if you ask anybody these days what sort of music do you like, no one really, oh, I like a bit of everything, I like this, and hip hop and jazz and some classical and maybe a bit of pop. But you know, you very, 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 very rarely find, in fact, I've never met anyone who just says, I just like country and western.
We all kick the bucket in the end, the end. All the girls kick the bucket in the end, the end. And the boys kick the bucket in the end, the end. Yep, we all kick the bucket in the end, the end, the end, the end, the end. Blew up my TV.
I've been really touched by a lot of people because they've said thank you for your album because we really need it at the moment, and I find that quite interesting, really, that people say that. So I say, what do you mean? They say, well, there's been so much, you know, there's been so much music and albums that for so many years that have come out with not, you know, no substance, and it's kind of been a style or it's been one thing that hasn't, and I sort of felt that myself, you know, listening to. I don't really listen to the radio or watch TV because I feel quite disillusioned by it a lot of the time, and so I prefer to just take interest in what I like, and yeah, so that, you know, it's just living it fully, living something fully. Really.
I have to put my whole world in your hands. I'm going to put my whole world in your hands, in your hands.
My dad is an entertainer. He's a true proper entertainer, and he really gets people involved, gets them all singing, and you know. And so I grew up with that, and so when I play or when I perform, I think what's really important to me is to be aware of the environment. You know, when you're performing, you're not. All you're doing is being a host to an environment. So that's the way I see it. It's like for me to get on stage, it's like having people come into my house. You know, the room we're in is my home, and so, you know, I sort of say, do you want a cup of tea? And make a cup of tea, and not really, but, you know, metaphorically speaking, you know, it's just like letting people feel comfortable, ask them some questions about what they do, And that's kind of what I'm doing in the, you know, with the music.
I'm gonna put my whole world in your hands. Yeah, yeah, in your hands.
It's just a conversation, you know, of being on stage, or not even just being on stage, but on record, you know. For me, it's a conversation. So even though I'm not there to have the conversation, I think it will, if the music is good enough, the conversation can last for a long time, you know, and get people thinking. You just have to kind of make it happen, I don't know. You know?